Namaste to all of you. A very warm welcome to this evening's Zoom call. Like we are doing on a daily basis, today we have a very distinguished guest with us, Dr. Naela Qadri. She is a freedom fighter, activist. She is daughter of Balochistan. Balochistan, we consider to be part of Bharata Khanda, but they have their own distinct history. They believe that they are forefathers of, grandmothers of Indus civilization, a very rich culture. She has just yesterday started a new political party by name Balochistan National Congress, and she is the founding chairman for that particular party. She is now living in exile in Canada. We have to apologize for waking her up pretty early. It's just 5:30 their time now. She has been working 30 hours non-stop without sleep to launch this party, so they could speak to Balochis all across the globe, integrate them. The relentless fight for their motherland has, given her so much of strength, and she is full of vibrancy. We are all so proud of her. She is. She underwent a lot of torture, pain, and harassment from the ISI and the Pakistani establishment. And so to save herself, she had to migrate, she had to go into exile. This is sad part of it. She has toured lot many parts of Bharat as well, India as well, she has toured. Let's listen to her. Just a little few brief sentences about Balochistan. Friends, please do not confuse Balochistan to Baltistan. Baltistan is the area north of Kargil, which is where the capital is Kardu. We had Senghis Hasnain Sering about a week, 10 days back. He was here. He belongs to Baltistan. That is legal Indian territory under Pakistani occupation. Whereas Balochistan is next to Sindh. It is sandwiched between Sindh and Iran, and it has a seafront, which is Arabian Sea front. They call it Arabian Sea. It's not even called Arabian Sea. I mean, in our ancient textbook, it was just called Sagara or Sindhu Sagara, or probably Balochis call it in a different name. But I don't know why the tag was given Arabian Sea. So this particular place has no legal boundary with today's India. Whatever we call Indian legal territory, we don't have any border with them. Probably we would have had a border with them had Nehru accepted Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan's proposal of taking the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa or Northwest Frontier Province as part of India. Then probably we would share a border with them. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Their struggle has been going on since its forceful occupation by Pakistan. Muhammad Ali Jinnah occupied Balochistan. Since then, the struggle is going on. The amazing part is only Iranians and Balochis, though they were all converted, 100% they are Muslims, they have never lost memory of their civilization. They are extremely proud of their civilization of 4, 5, 6,000, 7,000 years. But whereas we who are living in India, majority of us who are not converted, we have lost connection to our civilization. We do not understand. Only now the current generation is slowly waking up. But whereas the Balochi, it's not necessarily they're educated. Even an uneducated family in Baloch is extremely proud of their Baloch connect. So rest of it, she's going to walk us through their brief history, the politics, the pain of Balochistan, what exactly are they doing right now? And then, of course, what can you and I do in terms of raising the awareness? And someday, we would want to see Balochistan a free nation and a friendly country to India. Both of us prospering together. Madam Professor Naela Qadri Baloch, you're welcome to this show, madam. Please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Pragna Bharati And thank you so much. Gridhari ji, I'm speaking to you for last few weeks or days, but I have learned a lot from you. And as I've told you that I am a student forever, and I'm very absorbent to, and I love the people who are connected to soil, because people who try to connect with the skies, I mean, okay, our soil is floating or revolving in the space and in the skies, but we shouldn't leave the soil. What we think, and we have learned from our mothers and grandmothers, that we shouldn't leave our soil to touch the skies. We can touch the skies being with our soil, connected with our soil. So the people like you, and I've met many other people when I was in India, and I really appreciate your connection with your soil and connection with your ancestors. So it shows that the people who will come after you, they will be connected with you. So this is a promise. Yeah, Balochistan, uh, like I feel myself as a citizen of the globe. The whole earth is our home, and I feel that there is a common root of all the humans living on this earth, and a common root of all life. So everything that is living, we all are connected. We are from one source. And then in our early biology classes, they told us living things and non-living things. But now I feel that everything is living thing. What is non-living thing? Our soil is living thing. Our waters are living thing. Our winds are living thing. So everything is living thing. And this is the process of life. We are in it. And the commonalities, if we try to find, so there are so many things. Even the language, when I go to even to Europe or Africa, I listen familiar words. So it's not only that. So like when I feel connection with Africa, and I feel connection with even with the Dutch languages also. So the connection with Bharat, it's, you can understand, it's very easy comparatively. So yeah, it's one soil, and it's when I say Mehrgar civilization, some people call it Indus Valley civilization. We are far away from Indus Valley. It's not Indus Valley civilization. Like people say, all India is not Indus Valley. So like it's political names given to the things, but Mehrgar civilization is not only in Bolan, where it is spreaded in various parts of Balochistan, I can see, and then around Balochistan all over. Like in Iran, there is a place, we call it Shah-e-Sutka, but like burned city. Even in Mehrgar, I have seen the bricks of Mehrgar, they are burned. So there are tragedies that happen due to people who feel that power and control is more important than civilizations and then lives and dreams of people and happiness of people. So they come and they crush, and most of the time they have come from north. Yeah. So the eyes, if you have seen the eyes of Baloch people, the eyes from Mirgar, the eyes from Mesopotamia, and the eyes from India are the same big eyes. We have so many things common. The plate of the earth we live on is common, and the ocean we share for millions of years. So we call it Baloch Ocean. We call it Zir, Baloch Zir, or Baloch Sour. So, and then it's part of Indian Ocean, because the bigger Sagar, Mahasagar, is Indian Ocean. So the names given maybe by the people who came from outside, but the soil, the waters, the people, we are meeting each other. It's not that from Mirgar, the Bolan River was dried and people scattered. It was never one way. It was always both ways, or all the ways. So when I talk about Mirgar, so people say that it's a Neolithic civilization. And then the French archaeologists who worked there, they found that there are layers of civilization at the same place that touch with epipaleolithic also age. So the time when people were, the human race was evolving in Africa, and then it spreaded. It's a theory, I don't know who believes in that or no, but I have heard that it's a theory that from Africa we all scattered in the world. Or there is a theory, there are so many theories. I love every story of life. I accept it, and because we are not scared, we can't lose anything. We share the human history as our own. So wherever it started, wherever it flourished, it's a common human asset. So there is, like in Vedas, you told me that there are names of our mountains there and our places there. So it's a pleasure to hear. The Pakistani occupiers, they are trying to change the names of our mountains, our places, and they try to give bad names to us, you know. Like if you can see in my background, it's a place in this Baloch Sea in Indian Ocean. It is like fishtail, but it's like a ship also, if you can see. So this is in Baluchi we call it Batel, Mount Batel. It's a mountain and it is a shape of a ship. So in Baluchi we call the ship we call ship Batel. Not very big ship, the medium size ship or bigger launch or the bigger boat, we call it Batel. So when Pakistanis occupied it, they started calling it Batil. In Arabic, Batil means fake, lie, untrue. So these are the things they try to apply on us. We have a mountain in Shal, where I'm born. They call British gave it name Quetta. It was Shalkot, Shal. And I have heard, I don't know, that the name of the Shal is in Bhagavad Gita also somewhere, or in Vedas. Shal. If you find it, please let me know. So that valley, Shal's name is used like 850 years BC. So there was it's name of a prince. So they gave it name Quetta, British, and then Pakistanis gave our mountain name is Morwar. Morwar is called like pearl, and they gave name Murdar. Murdar is like rotten dead. So they not only play with, they play very dirty. So the fight, the struggle to keep our connection with our soil, and their efforts to break it, and like they want to, there should be no Baluchi. I remember that our uncles were in jail just because they wrote something in Baluchi. It's early Pakistani days. So Balochistan has its own identity. The word Balochistan is not very ancient word. Its ancient name was Madestan. Stan, you told me that it is a Sanskrit word, and yeah, so Stan, Madestan yani means Mad people. So Mad, Median Kurds, and we have a very close link. I see very close link with two people. One is the Baloch people are very closely linked with Kurdish people, and we have very close links. We don't know what they are with the South Indian people. It's through ocean, or it's through migrations, it's through connections, because the words we speak, like my kids call me I, and I heard that when I was in South India, I heard that people are calling their moms I. There are so many other words that when they speak, I pick. So the connections are spreaded, but it's not, these two connections I feel very close. And then we have connection because we live in a place where we have connections with Central Asia. Like Baloch people are living in Tajikistan, in Kyrgyzstan, in Uzbekistan, in Afghanistan. With the name of Baloch, we are living there. And the name of Baloch we got was when we had a fight, a joint fight against Greek. So there are other armies also. There were other armies also. So our army was called Baloch because we had the head of the, we call it Taje Koros, the, what you call it, fowl, cock.
Yeah, hen or something.
So,
like that.
Yeah, male hen.
Yeah.
Its crown was the symbol of Baloch army. So we had connections with different animals and birds. Like from Mirgar, you have seen, we have figurines. They have bird head, but they are women. It's a matrilineal society where women had very like, it was not controlled. It's not matriarchal. like patriarchal, controlled by male heads. It's matrilineal. It was society of love, like Mehrgarh means place of love. So, so Balochistan, we feel connected with all over, like we have connection through oceans with the the other side of the Baloch Sea, that the Arab land, that is Arab land of Arabs, because if you see that Gulf, we are living on all the sides of, like the Arab side, when you go, first you will meet Baloch people, and then you will, the Baloch people are living on the, like in Yemen, Muscat, Bahrain, in all these areas you will find Baloch people. And then in African coastlines also you will find Baloch people, Zanzibar and Kenya, and we live there also. And it's due to, like we were involved in shipping and trades and fights against the Europeans. When the Portuguese came, we had very like big and long fights. Vasco da Gama came to Balochistan and got defeated. So I feel very proud that still we have Vasco da Gama's fleets. They came, and their armies, arms are with us, cannon and their swords. So they are still with us. And they burned one of our city. So it's not only China, it's trying to come and occupy Gwadar. This is Gwadar, you can see in my background. Before that, Portuguese also tried, and they got defeated. So we have a history of resistance. And when we see that we cannot protect our land, we cannot protect our country, so what we do is we take our kids and our women and our children and we go in the mountains. We leave the lands. And we did it so many times in the history that we have a system of irrigation that is called kares, underground water channels. So we destroy them or hide them. We fill them with soil, and we go in the mountains. We did so many times in the history. We did it with Genghis Khan. When he came, he tried to come. He came and he found nothing there. We burn the things by ourselves. We don't leave it for the occupiers. And when Alexander came, so I've seen one painting of Alexander somewhere in Europe, and it was from Balochistan, from Makran. His whole army was thirsty, and maybe you have also seen that. In his helmet, somebody gave him some water because there was no water. There was no water. And the sheep, they took our sheep, the herds, they all died. So our land refused the occupiers to live there. And we are not very smart, but we know how to lose the things. We don't care about the today's luxuries. We just leave them. We make our land so much difficult for the people that they can't live there. It's only us we can live there because it's our mom, it's our mother. She is so kind to us that we live here with love and with happiness and prosperity. But when occupiers come, she becomes so cruel to them. Whoever has been cruel to Baloch, our soil has become cruel for them. So Alexander is he had the water in his helmet, and then he's pouring it on the sand, that if my army is thirsty, I will not drink the water too. And then he started vomiting blood. And then he left through the Sonmiani, and in somewhere in Iraq, he died. In history, Balochistan is not written properly because it's written by others. But when our grandmoms around the fire, when we are sitting, and when our grandmoms, they tell us stories, their stories are different from what is written by the others in the books. Our grandmoms tell us that the people that time, our people, they left, they burned the thing, they took everything what they could, and they left in the mountains, hard mountains, where their armies, the armies of the Greek armies, they were not able to enter, and they were they were dying of hunger, they were dying of thirst, and our people just went there. It's like guerrilla warfare. They went there, they fought, and they went back in the mountains, because we don't have proper big armies, because we are not people who make armies and go and occupy others' lands. We don't need armies. People don't need army. Nobody needs army. If there's no army anywhere, there's no need of army anywhere. So when armies always have come to us, we are doing the same. That we come, we fight, we give them the utmost loss we can give, and then we go back. And we do it, and we keep doing it generations after generations. So the same situation today is with Pakistan. So Pakistanis, if they think they are more powerful than Greeks, so when we tell them that there is no war you have won against Baloch, whenever Pakistan army and Baloch army are in front of each other, Pakistan army has run away. It has run away. Why? Because they don't have courage. They can't fight. They are very coward people because they fight for money. They want to be in Balochistan because they want to do the smuggling from the borders. We have huge borders, international borders. So there are lots of things are coming and going. They are involved in drug trafficking. They are involved in arms trafficking. They are involved in human trafficking. So all Pakistan army officers are doing, and they're from small to bigger. Balochistan is just like a gold mine for them. And then Balochistan is literally a gold mine for Chinese and Pakistanis. They have taken 16 kg gold per day from Balochistan for last 30 years. It's now war. When they come there, our boys attack them. They can't take anything now. So there are secret small planes from the gold mines to Islamabad or gold mines to Karachi. They are not shown in the schedules because only Chinese and Punjabis can go there, and they go Punjabi army, not the common Punjabi. So the exploitation, when I just today's situation from it started from 1948 by the puppets of British, the Pakistanis. But British themselves, they were sending, after Portuguese, they were sending their spies, like Henry Pottinger came as a merchant of horses, and he visited Balochistan. He made maps, and then he made reports to his government that they are, what kind of people they are, what can be the conflicts, like language conflict, that they are same people, they have same uh, traditions, same blood and bones, but they speak two languages. Actually, we speak 5, 6 languages because we are not an ethnic group. We are not a race. We are people. And opposite to Pakistani mindset, purist, Pak kind of mindset, we are pluralist people. So we have religions, we have alive many religions in Balochistan, many languages in Balochistan are alive. Like we speak Lasi, we speak Saraiki, we speak Jadgali, we speak Devari, we speak Bravi, we speak 3 dialects of Baluchi, 2 dialects of Bravi. So we are pluralist people, and so from there, the British planned, they had big plans, and what they did, when they came with their armies, they got defeated. It is called the War of Nafask. The War of Nafask is in Murree area. It's when you enter Bolan, before entering Bolan from Punjab, and so you have to cross the Murree Bukti areas. So there, the Baloch tribes, they got together and they fought against British and they got defeated. Their 3 cannons they left. So if you find in British museums and British histories, you will find someone, Colonel Brown. So Colonel Brown and Colonel Lambert's diaries are there, and they speak about those wars, that how Baloch people planned that war, and they knew that British are coming and going, and how they were always disturbing them, attacking on British people who were trying to go to meet the king in the capital. Our capital was Kalat. So what happened, that in diaries you can find that there was a Baloch who went and he became a spy for the British. Like he said, I have problems with my tribe and my people, and he became one of them. And when the war started, he brought them and he left them in a place where there was no water. And then the Balochs came from all over and they killed. So they left their white, I'm sorry to be racist, but their precious white bodies in our, so they are buried there with honor. Baloch never dishonor anybody's body. But the cannons Baloch took, and one of his name was Lal. So the Lal's backbone was broken, because he said, it's the souvenir of the war. We have to take these cannons up in the mountains. And then afterwards, the British came with the soft face, and then for 30 years they took the Sardars on, like they bribed the tribal chiefs of Balochistan, and then they started and they instigated in wars between tribes, and then wars of tribal chief against the king. King was not a very good person himself, but this political it was just turmoils and burnings and everything. So then British came as their well-wishers. So they took 30 years to like make connections with tribal chiefs and with the king both, and then they became as friends of all of them, and it's okay, we will settle your issues. And then they took some places on lease, like Shal, the valley I'm born in. So they took Shal, and they Shal's name was Shalkot, and they made it Quetta. And there was their army cantonment, army headquarters. Today it's used by Pakistan. And they built the notorious Coolie Camp torture cell afterwards, like before Second World War, they built that. They built many other places too for the Japanese prisoners, but still we are there. So they attacked 1839. They attacked on the capital of Balochistan with the help of the Baloch Sardars, and then they killed the king, and like our king and the great grandfather of my sons, and some other brave people, they accepted that we will fight till death. We know that we can't win this army now, so we will fight till death. So they fought till death there, and they are buried in front of that the royal palace. So the Sardars were with the British. Today the Sardars are with Pakistan. And then British slowly changed the Balochistan into states. They had 100 to 100 years plans with them. So there was no state in Balochistan. They created states in Balochistan, so one day they can use these states against the sovereignty and integrity of Balochistan, and they did it. So they made Makran and Bela and the British Balochistan, like in Quetta. From Quetta, they started invading Afghanistan, and in Second Anglo-Afghan War, which was the Afghans got defeated, and then they divided, like the Durand line is there. Before that, they divided Balochistan. They said, okay, Balochs and Iranians have border disputes, so we will. So there was Goldsmith, General Goldsmith, and the representative of the king of Balochistan was Sardar Fakir, and representative of Iranian government, some Mirza. And the British had secretly all the understandings with Iranians because they wanted Iran against Germans, and they had at that times their foreign policies and their colonial plans, that who should be there, which Gora should be there, German or British, and they had their competitions in Balochistan and Iran and Afghanistan at that time. So they bribed Iran by the land of Baloch, and they said that this land should be given to Iran. So Balochistan, the government of Balochistan, they rejected that, and they said that we don't accept it. And till today, we don't accept our inclusion, our land's inclusion by the Goldsmith line in Iran. So the place Bandar Abbas they call today, it is actually Kambaran. So Kambar was the chief, and Kambaran is the original name of Bandar Abbas. Abbas is an Arabic name, and with the Shia Iranian regime, they changed the name of Kambaran into Bandar Abbas. So from Kambaran till Kolachi. Kolachi is a Baluchi name that today people call it Karachi. It's basically Kolanchi. Kolanch is a place. There are 3 places in the name of Kolanch in Balochistan. And a lady from Kolanch was like importer, exporter there. So we have very strong history of women. So like you also have strong history of women, I know. So this was, and then when British divided Balochistan like in Goldsmith Line and then Durand Line, some parts of Afghanistan they included in British India, and some parts of Balochistan they included in Afghanistan. So the Nimroz, Helmand, the Registan of Kandahar, they were in Balochistan, they included in Afghanistan, and today's Qila Saifullah and Loralai and Job and these areas are basically Afghan areas, and we don't have any claim on them. The day we will be free, we will give them to Afghanistan back. But the Baloch land divided by McMahon Line, McMahon Line is between the eastern border of Balochistan and India. So actually, we were neighbors. You said we don't have any common land. So actually, we were very good neighbors in history. Sindhu is our common asset, we can say. Sindhu is like from its start till its end, it's giving, it's nurturing human civilizations. So the parts of Balochistan that British took on lease from the king of Balochistan, Khan, we call him. It's like Jacobabad, it was Khangar, and Karachi, and Dera Ghazi Khan, and Dera Ismail Khan. So now these areas are included into different provinces of Pakistan. So like Pakistan has directly taken those, the areas that were taken in, through McMahon Line. Afghanistan has our parts through Durand Line, and Iran has our parts through Goldsmith Line. And the remaining Balochistan was occupied by Pakistan in 1948. Before that, on the 11th August 1947, Baloch King and Jinnah and British, he was the very infamous that played the role in division of India. So they had a contract. It's written contract between 3 countries actually. British head of Pakistan, Jinnah, Liaquat Ali, not Liaquat, yeah, Liaquat Ali was in there. It's signatory, and Khan of Kalat, and so Pakistan accepts the sovereignty of Balochistan as a free country, and the areas which British government has taken on lease from Balochistan, Pakistan government and Baloch government will talk on it in Karachi afterwards. And some people celebrate it as like Independence Day of Balochistan, but Balochistan was free before that. Baloch government, how weak it was, in its capital was Kalat. It had Makran, it had Bela, it had Kharan, it had British Balochistan was managed by British, and that was the part that Quetta and some parts of Afghanistan was in there, and Sibi from Balochistan was there. But and then Balochistan's assembly, like House of Commons and House of Lords, they had their sessions, and they got a letter from Jinnah that Balochistan should merge in Pakistan or annex with Pakistan because we both are Muslims. So there's a historical speech of Mr. Ghaus Bizenjo, the father of Balochistan, he's called. He was head of the House of Commons, and he said that our identity as Baloch is for thousands of years. Our identity as Muslims is for 1400 years. And so our basic identity as Baloch is bigger than our religious identity. And if religion can be base of a country, we don't understand how religion can be base of country. If religion can be base of country, then Pakistan should merge in Saudi or Iran or Afghanistan. Why Pakistan wants to be an independent country then? First, we are against the division of India. Pakistan should live in India. There is no base of creating a country in the name of religion. Religions don't create countries, cannot. These are the people. So you are people of India, you should live in India. There is no reason to become a country. But if you want to live in a Muslim country, so go and live in Saudi or join another Muslim country. If you don't join a country, you are a newly created country, and you are asking from only this government has this Khanate that you call its history of 700 years. So how you can destroy or take over a country of very senior to you? And then we heard that Pakistan is planning for a military invasion on Balochistan, and we had left with the scattered kind of society. All our systems were destroyed by British. British destroyed Balochistan's basic defense fabric by bribing the tribal chiefs, and so they knew that we are in a very weak position. We are not able to defend ourselves, and then Mir Ghausbakhsh Bizenjo, and with his very close friends and my father, they went to India and they met Nehru and they met Azad, that Jinnah is planning to invade Balochistan. They are a landlocked country. They will not give Karachi back to us. And they are trying to invade Balochistan. And when they will get Balochistan, they will become a monster for you too. If you can support us, you can raise voice in UN. If you can speak for Kashmir, you can speak for Balochistan too. Why not? Nehru said no, we can't. And Azad said, Balochistan बहुत दूर है. So when I came to, and then Pakistan attacked on Balochistan and they occupied our capital, Kalat, and they bombed on the masjid. They say that we are champions of Islam, but they destroyed the royal mosque, the royal masjid. And they looted the royal palace. They took everything, and whatever then happened. And then in their under arrest, they took signatures from Khan that yes, he is ready to annex Balochistan. And when we asked from Khan, the people asked from Khan, he said, I didn't want that bloodshed anymore. So you should have died. You should have died as your forefathers did against British. But he was not able to. So that happened, and before that, like British took signatures from different states like Makran and Bela and that British Balochistan, that's capital was Quetta, Shal. So they hello.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So they took Dera Bukti and Murray area. So they all gave signatures. They had uh, there was a referendum kind of that, do you want to be in Pakistan or you want to be in India? There was no signature that you want to be in Pakistan or you want to be in Balochistan. So referendum was like this, and they all were British paid people, all the Sardars, including Bukti and Murray Sardars. Afterwards, they realized what they have done, and then they started resistance and all this. So they all signed that we want to be in Pakistan. They said there is no referendum between Pakistan and Balochistan. So why you didn't sign to go in India? They said because they had instructions what to do, because the British made this map. They knew what they are going to do. So the central Balochistan was left alone, and then it was invaded by Pakistan in 1948. And the younger brother of the king, he was governor of the Makran, and then the state of Makran that British made the states. It was a conspiracy to making states even. We didn't have any states. It was one country. And then he left to the mountains, and so Karim, Prince Karim, from him till today, Balochs are in resistance of independence from the forced occupation of Pakistan, and in struggle to erase those ugly lines on the heartland of Balochistan in the name of McMahon line and Durand line and Goldsmith line. So this is the Baloch national narrative, that we must reunite our country. We must get our liberation and sovereignty back. And we are the people who don't identify themselves with any religion. We identify ourselves with our soil and our culture and our history. So our identity is more important than any religion. One another thing, when that people say that, okay, you all are same people. We are not same people. The people live around us are not like us. So the people live around us are Arabs, Persians, Afghans, and Punjabis. Sindhi people are more closer to us. We share so many things, like 48% of the population before the Karachi became a hub of refugees, Mahajirs, they still call them Mahajirs. 48% of population of Sindh was Baloch, and the most of the fertile lands they belong to Baloch. Until today they belong to Balochs. And Hyderabad and Khairpur, Hyderabad was the ruler of Hyderabad was a Baloch Talpur family, and Karachi was ruled by Talpurs and Mir Bahar, Gabol. They all are Baloch tribes. The indigenous tribes of Karachi are Baloch people. And from, it's not Karachi, even in Gujarat, you will find many, like 500,000 Balochs are living in Gujarat today. And 2 days back, we were together on Zoom conference. So there were many Balochs from India with us. And when I came to India in 2016, before Modi ji spoke about Balochistan, so I was in India for 1 month and I was speaking to different think tanks. They directly give their suggestions to the ministry, different ministries. It's basically, and after Modi ji's speech, I came and I was in India, and all over India, I met with people and I gave presentations in different universities. And for the first time, many of them knew about Nani Mata, Hinglaj Ma, and that what connections we have. So when I say that Balochistan is the grandmother of the civilization we have around, you call it whatever you call it. I say that, okay, grandmothers are weak. They have wrinkles. They are very weak. They are just shivering. They can't hold things properly. And grandchild or child is powerful, strong. But you should love your grandmom. You shouldn't say that grandmom is nowhere from where you came. Okay, if it's not grandmom, this whole land was together. Yeah, it's not that Mehrgarh is created or Mehrgarh civilization is created in space. It is created with all of our ancestors' contributions. And they lived on the same land for thousands of years, millions of years. And like if we take our gene pool, I don't think we have different genes. I don't think we have different genes. We have same genes. If we think about and one thing I tell them, and I said that, look, what happens, it has some indications to understand. Why head of Mata is with us? Why nature or whatever you believe in decided to give her head to us? And how we have protected it. So like our kids, my very close family is one of those who are the caretakers of Hinglaj Mata. Like caretakers, we can't say Mata takes care of herself. She's able to. But like, there are so many fanatic people around. And we need to protect our sacred places. Because before the head was there, before the mandir was there, our ancestors were there to connect with the universal energies as a sacred place. That's why it was selected by Mata or the forces, and her precious head is there. And her head is so this is a kind of respect from nature towards Balochistan. And the people who go with nature, who flow with nature, they don't try to distort the facts. They accept it. We accept. We don't think that we are from skies, and we don't connect ourselves from super uh, races or religious identities. No, we are sons and daughters of this soil, and this soil is connected with the soil of that you call it Indian subcontinent. You call it uh, if you call it Bharat, you call it Balochistan, and we are in a connecting position uh, uh, geostrategically, if you see, that we connect the Indian subcontinent with Central Asia and Persian and Arabs, and if you think about, like, if you give it whatever name, if you go like I have visited South India, all India, Afghanistan, and all the stans above, and Iran and Arab and Africa, China, and the countries in South China, and I have seen so many similarities, so many similarities. We can't say that we are different people. We are same people. And we are, it's not only our history is same, our land, our culture, but our future is same. Same means if there is prosperity, it will be for all of us. And if there is war, it's for all of us. When we have created a common history, when we have fought in maybe in isolation, but against the same kind of forces, whoever has uh, tried to destroy Balochistan has always tried to destroy India too. Like we have always, the invaders are the same people. Always the people's efforts to disconnect India from its uh, great civilization and its great history, to by crushing, by destroying the places, the historical places, the spiritual places, the religious places, kill people, hundreds and thousands of people in one night, because those were the people who were not ready to bow their heads in front of invaders. So they were great martyrs. Same were the people who came to Balochistan and destroyed us too. So today there is their representative sitting, like Mahmud Ghaznavi and Babar and Changiz and whoever you think, and even uh, the remains of uh, Alexander, or the servants of Alexander, not the remains even. Servants of Alexander or his civilization. That representative we can give name as Pakistan. They are sitting on our heart like a cancer. They are trying to disconnect and create hatred, and they are trying to give this whole great land and its great people war, terror, poverty, hate, And these all things, they don't belong to this soil because we are prosperous people. We were people who have given things to others. And we are the people who who are uh, who are a hope for this globe. Because if Pakistan becomes strong, more strong, with the help of artificial injections from America and China, and so it will not only harm Indian subcontinent only, it will harm the whole world. So if we love our soil and we love our history and we are connected to it and we want to touch the skies while connected strongly with our soil, we need to undo Pakistan. Just like we need to do a surgery on a cancerous tumor. It's a cancerous tumor. It's a representation of invaders. It's a representation of people who wanted their power and control to crush our civilization and to disconnect us from our civilization. They tried to give us bad names. They tried to give us foreign identities. They tried their best to do it. But they are mostly 90%, they are failed. But if 10% they are successful in the name of Pakistan, it will not only destroy through its nuclearization, its nuclear adventures, because their nuclear tests, they use soil of Balochistan for their nuclear tests. I was a professor in Balochistan University, and when I listened that, I called everyone and I said, we should not let them. Chief Minister was Mengal. I called him and he said, no, they will not do it in Balochistan. They were just camouflaging the things and they will do it Kahuta somewhere. I said, no, we have seen the huge movements there in the area of Chage. There are Chinese there, there are Pakistani armies there. They are doing something, they do it here. And they have announced it, that they are going to do it here. And they said, no. And the Mengals, the Maris, the Bhuktis, the middle class, everybody was in Pakistani parliament. It was planned. They stopped everybody's mouth. They gave lollipops to everybody before doing the nuclear test in Balochistan. And I just took my 200 students of university, even professors of the university, they refused me. They said, no, we can't. It is the matter of national security and all this. I said, no, it's not the matter of national security. We don't care about their nation and their national security. We care about our own people and our own soil. We don't give our soil to them to do radioactivity, to spread radioactivity for hundreds of years here. It will be cancers. You can't understand this. So everybody was silent, and I was the only person with my students. I was on the road. It was 16 May. They announced, and the second day I was marching on the roads and I was protesting. And the so-called nationalists, when I was in India, they gave statements that she has no mandate to ask for exile government. Those people were in the parliament when there was nuclear tests in Balochistan, where you were there at that time. It was only this. I don't care about my mandate. I care about what my responsibility is. And just people, the student leaders around me, because I just mentored the Baloch student leadership there. So they all were with me, and they got calls because they were afraid to call me. They knew that I was just shut their mouths. So they called my students and they said, just you should give statements that you have nothing to do with that protest that you have done. It's a childish thing you have done. You shouldn't do that. And they said, no, we are not going to give any statement. What we have done it with pure belief and our trust what we are going to do. And so this is the situation. The fight is going on. Still in Baloch freedom movement, Baloch independence movement, we have lots and lots of weaknesses. And last 20 years, like from the start of that Gwadar mega project and CPAC, Baloch resistance movement took a new phase. Like in 1998, they did the nuclear test, and after that they dissolved that government. That they were so happy that we are in government with Punjabis and we are having luxuries. And after taking their assistance in the nuclearization, they just dissolved their government, and they all were on the roads again. And they were then protesting with me the next 28th May. They were protesting. They were with me on the roads protesting against nuclearization. The nuclearization, they were part of that. And after that, the movement took a new energy for freedom and liberation and all this, that they are selling our lands to Chinese. Chinese will come here and Balochistan will become demographically, we will be finished in between Chinese and Punjabi population. There will be a Chinese chief minister of Balochistan after a few years. So it took military resistance again, because many times Balochs are doing military resistance against Pakistan. And this time it has a new phase. I hope you guys are not tired. I can speak hours and hours.
Yeah, please go ahead, madam. No issues. I mean,
Okay.
you speak your heart out. We are more
Okay.
than willing to listen to our brothers and sisters from Baloch.
Okay, thank you. So, the military resistance, the armed resistance in the mountains, in the cities, they just shook Pakistan. And the political movement, the masses, they just attached themselves with that freedom movement, and people were on roads. And first time women were on roads. Before that, I was the one lady. When I was a student of Balochi Students Organization, I was the only girl child, and all the boys were around. And when I was a young student, it was same in university. I was the only lady, and the whole like protests were full of boys. And after like 35 years of marching alone, from this freedom phase of freedom movement that started in 2020, 2000 it started. Lots of young women came and joined. Lots and lots of women came and joined. My own mother-in-law got killed. She was leading movement of enforced disappeared people, the missing people's movement in Balochistan. And they were going to meet somebody, Mama Qadir, and my mother-in-law, she was called Mother of Balochistan sometimes, and she was like 80 years old, and she was leading the marches and protests, and she was having the Free Balochistan flag on her car and on her house. And when they were going to Karachi from Quetta to meet some, I think there was a UN delegation or some, they wanted some testimonies from the missing people, and my brother-in-law was missing too. My husband was missing, and they were in torture cells. So she was going there to give testimony, and in the way there was a blast in her jeep, So Mama Qadir broke his arm and she just died at the spot. And another brother of a missing person, he broke his backbone. Still he is on bed for so many years. Yeah, they took my husband. For 2 years he was in that Kuli camp where my uncle was in 1956, the Ayub operation, military operation. And then Bhutto military operation, my family was in that notorious torture cells. And then my husband. I was imprisoned and tortured in a police station. And when they brought me to court, one of my students was judge there, and when he saw me, he was just shocked. And anti-terrorist force was there, and they said that she has slapped our IG. He said, I said, yes, I did. So slapping IG, what a big deal. I should shoot him. And she has broken our, it's in the record of the court that I have broken their Kalashnikov. So yeah, what you say? Kali Ma ki Shakti.
Durga Ma.
Durga Ma ki Shakti. So yeah. So this is the situation today. Our movement is scattered from that big wave we touched there, and after that it's a downfall. There was Baloch National Front. All the Baloch pro-freedom parties and groups were in that, but it was broken and dispersed. Then many groups there, and there were many armed groups. Now all the armed groups have joined hands and became one that is called BRAS, Baloch Raji Ajoi Sangar. So BRAS has all five military Baloch militant groups together, and they are in one command. And that is a very good news for Baloch people, but bad news for the tribal chiefs, because every tribal chief, pro-freedom tribe, 99% of the tribal chiefs are with Pakistan as they were with British. Just 3 are with freedom, Mengal, Murray and Bukti, as they were in 70s. From 70s, they are in the process. Before that, they were also pro-Pakistan. They signed Pakistan, the chief of Bukti and chief of Murray, they signed that they want to be in Pakistan. But after what Pakistan did with them, then they became anti-Pakistan, and from 70s, they joined the Baloch nationalist narrative. So, so these the tribal chiefs are no more now, but their sons. Everyone created one militant group and one political party, and but now what happened? Their political parties are almost finished. They are just them and some few of their salaried people in Europe, and on ground they have zero presence now. It's not because just they were inexperienced in politics. They never did politics. They were grown up in Europe, or the way they had no connection. They didn't know what is our national politics, because Baloch nationalism, our basic institution is Baloch Students Organization. So this had always gave us the map of Greater Balochistan as we were kids, the flag, the national anthem, and our identity. Our programs never started with Bismillah or something. No, we were always very secular. So our national narrative is very different from tribal chiefs. They don't know our national narrative, and even 27th March is the day when Pakistan army occupied Balochistan. And they say, no, our grandfather had signed on the to merge into Pakistan on annexation. Our grandfather has signed before 27 March. So 27 March is a problem of Kalat, not us. With this mindset, because they have not been in that political institution. They have never been in BSO. They were in Europe. So this is a problem for us, that we supported them because we wanted them in the movement. We said, okay, we all will support them. If they want leadership, take leadership. Be hero. We will follow you because we want you to be in this struggle and take stand, because we want unity of all our nation. We don't want to throw somebody out. But as the seniors left the world and the boys were left with the whole movement, the situation has become very difficult. And then when I came to India, I told everybody that no support is there in the mountains. And they said, how come? I don't know. You should check how come. But India should support Baloch movement. So today the situation is, we are at a very, very difficult situation. Like the curve, when it was like up in till 2009, it's then declined. And it's declining, to be very, very honest, that many of the very experienced freedom fighters are thinking that many big faces will go and surrender. Many are already in talks. You will see people in Geneva, you will see people in other parts of Europe, they are compromising, they are talking. But the problem is, the movement, whenever, like when my husband was in torture cell of Kuli camp, so Pakistan army was always saying him, Raw, you are agent of Raw, your wife goes out and bring monies from Raw. So he, we never knew where Raw exists. What we know is what our grandmothers and our grandfathers have told us, that we have to sacrifice our everything, as our ancestors did, to protect our people and our land and our civilization. From where Raw comes here? When I was on the roads against Pakistani nuclear tests, everybody says, it's support from India. I said, why? India is doing its own tests if they are against nuclearization. No, they are against Pakistan's nuclear tests. I will do it in Lahore. I don't have any problem. Go ahead. Why in Balochistan? My problem is, I'm against nuclearization. I want a nuclear-free world. I want a world where there is no arms. Like in Mirgad, there were no arms. I want a world where there is no army. The people of the world, they don't need armies. We just need a very cooperation and coordination and peaceful coexistence. We don't need armies. So I went to India and I said, where are you, Raw? Come. Show me where you are. If you are with us, the movement is going to be finished. We need you. And if you are not with us, we should know that you are not with us. If you are with few Sardars, they have made their properties, they have made their luxurious lives in mansions in Europe and Dubai, and their businesses are in China. The boys in mountains, they don't have food. And the movement in the cities, and they are coming and killing our common people. They are killing and taking our women, and they're raping our women. They have rape centers. And we have nothing in our hands to protect our people. Our people have nothing in their hands to protect themselves. Each and every Baloch know how to fight. We don't need army trainings, but we are empty hands with these American arms and Chinese arms, with this coward army who has never won any war. They are always defeated by India, always defeated by India, and always defeated by Baloch. So grandmom has no arms to protect her. And the granddaughter, she is so careless. So I felt the same. I'm sorry if somebody get hurt, but I'm honest, and I say the things that when my grandkids will see, they will say that our grandmom was an honest person. I don't want to please anybody. So when this is the Hindutva government, and this is the very, very that kind of government that always said, हम पाकिस्तान के 4 टुकड़े कर देंगे, हम पाकिस्तान के 18 टुकड़े कर देंगे. भाई पाकिस्तान के 70 टुकड़े करो तो. But you know, this is my statement, and it should be written that when my dad came, when Mir Ghaus Zanjo came and met Nehru and Azad, and when their daughter came, Naela Qadri, and met today's leaders of India, we felt we are meeting Nehru again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naela ji. It was a very heart-wrenching and a very, emotional, kind of journey through the Baloch history, the politics, and your ethos and your politics. Thank you so much for being so frank and so excellent in the way you presented the whole scenario. As I was talking to you in our previous talks, we always consider you to be a very honorable, respectable daughter of Akhanda Bharat.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we had many Ganarajas, and so I told you there are lots of rishis and munis went there. In fact, Bhagavan Krishna is supposed to have traveled to parts of Balochistan coast for his summer vacations. And I told you the island outside Karachi, where the Pakistan Naval Headquarters is there today. Even today it is called Manohara Island. And there is a small island off the coast of Gwadar Port. There's a small island called Astor Island. Yes? On the Astor Island, even today, there is a broken temple there. It's uninhabited, but still there is a temple. Okay. And I know the mud volcanoes that come on the route to Nani Mandir. Friends, when she referred to Nani Mandir, there is a Hinglaj Mata Mandir. It is one of the Shakti Peeths, right? When Parvati was cut into pieces by Bhagavan Vishnu, one of the pieces of the head came and fell in Balochistan. So there is a place called Hinglaj Mata Mandir. They call it Nani Mandir. In fact, there are Baluchi Hindus there who are sadhus, who are still maintaining the tradition there. And,
with us. We
yeah.
are with the sadhus.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
go there. We go there. Our kids go there.
Yeah.
We meditate there.
Yeah, fantastic.
One more thing. Sorry.
Yeah, please go ahead, madam. Yeah.
I just forgot to. Yeah, just you started that. Yeah, we have Hindu Balochs. It's town planning of Balochistan. It will be very interesting for you that we live in a in a in a in a in an island kind of. If you see the nations live, they are very fanatic in their religious beliefs, Shia or Sunni, both. They are very, very fanatics and extremist in their religious beliefs. And we are living a pluralist people living in between those kind of people.
Yeah.
And how we have kept that, it's very interesting. If you see our town planning, that in between we have a complex, gated complex, and that is our Hindu Baloch place. And daytime, the gates are open. It's the market. It's the central market of the town. All the trades are going there. And in the evening, the gates are closed. So the shops are at the both side of that road in between that. And there are the homes of those Hindus are backside of these shops. The whole complex is walled and gated. Why? And around that complex, we make our homes. Like the non-Hindu Balochs, their homes are around that complex. The center of the town is always Hindu in Balochistan. So what happened, and the nearest place to that Hindu complex is always the tribal chief or the powerful person's house to protect that community. So I'll tell you one example. I was in United Nations in March, this March, and I just discussed this there, that my second son was I just gave birth to my second son, and I was in hospital, and that was the time of that Ayodhya Mandirs, that Babri Masjid and all this riots. So what happened that we got a call in the hospital that a mob is armed and it's chanting religious slogans, and they are coming to attack on our village, our town, to burn the whole complex and the people alive, because it's a nice Hindu population. They will have a big hunt to revenge that riots in India. So I asked my husband, just go, leave me, I can handle, go. If I was not in this position, I would accompany you. He left, and then all his cousins and his uncles and everybody, they took their arms, because we have guns. Every house has few guns. It's just not a big deal. We live in this kind of society. So they all took their guns and they went in front to stop that mob. And our women and children went inside the complex and locked themselves inside with the Hindu women. Just because if their men become coward in front of that mob that is coming to burn us, our Hindu brothers and sisters, they should know that if they will burn, their own women and children are going to burn inside. This is today's history. It's not very ancient history I'm talking about. So we are different people. We are not people, the kind of people live in Iran, and the kind of people live in Afghanistan, and the kind of people live in Punjab, and the kind of people live in Arab. We are not like them. We are different people. We love each other. We respect each other. And being like when we were kids, we were just waited for Masi, that she will do her puja and bring mithai for our cow. So we will eat with the cow too.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is what is Bharatiyata. We call that is the sense of pluralism, respect for individual right to their gods and their worship is what is the core of Bharat's culture. And you are a true representative of Bharat in that sense. You spoke also about the temples in Kalat, for instance. You had, I think,
we have
Kali Mandir is there in Kalat.
Yeah, Kali. It's in our poetry also. We say it means that Kali lives in Kalat and Mahadev Mastong.
Yeah.
So we have Kali and Mahadev Mandir and just like very near to like Kalat is the capital.
Yeah.
It was capital from centuries. And Mastong is like in between Kalat and my town. There's a place, Mastong. It's very historical place. And the Mahadev Mandir is there. So when I was in India, they were in Pakistan, they were very, very much, irritated with my presence in India and what I'm speaking there. It's coming on social networks. So they stopped the internet connections there, so nobody can see what I'm saying there. So, and then in reaction, when I said that we have mandirs and we have all this, and this is our culture, we are not Pakistanis. Don't call us Pakistani. So they went and they destroyed the Kali Mandir in Kalat.
Yeah. That's a sad part of it. Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
So let's open it up for question and answer session, madam. I'm sure people are waking up from the narrative that has gone through. It's still people are in a stupor kind of a thing. It's something which a lot of people in India have not heard many of these things. It's strange for them because the history of India only starts from Wagah border. What happened beyond that, it is Bharat once. It is the same civilization. Is something which is lost out on our people. So organizations like Pragna Bharati, we are trying to connect all these aspects of the great civilizational narrative. And your talk has been very illuminating, and I'm sure people have a lot of questions to ask you. So Suresh ji, please go ahead, sir. Suresh Kochatil. Madam, I told you about Suresh ji that he comes from Kerala, matrilineal society. I told you. Yeah, here's this one. Suresh ji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, this is a question because I think we share something very, very common actually, the matrilineal society, at least the community that my family comes from in Kerala, which is a Nair Menon community. And we follow the matrilineal lineage, we follow the matrilineal system. In fact, my second name, Kochatal, Suresh Kochatal. Kochatal is my mother's house name. We don't take the father's house name, we take the mother's house name. And
wow.
As they call it, the lineage, the family lineage continues through the mother's side. And,
wow.
as they say in Hindi, Telugu, they call it Varaswatam. What do you call that in Hindi?
Virasat.
Virasat comes through the mother's side, not the father's side. And
wow.
one of the reasons why Kerala had this unique advantage that it has the lowest maternal mortality possibly in the entire Asian subcontinent. It got parameters which are better than even Sweden. And, that's the two parameters you're ranked again. I think the education system, 100% women's education. So I just want to know, and another state in India which has something very similar is Manipur in the northeast. They also follow the matrilineal system. The mother is very important. Everything flows from the mother's side. Everything is mother. Mother is the most important person. That's how it is. But that system has also been falling into disuse over a period of time now. And even the property used to go to the girl completely. The entire property doesn't go to the boys, it goes to the girls. But that has also undergone a bit of change since then. But still, the matrilineal system is followed in true letter and spirit, at least in the Hindu community, part of the Nair Menon community. So my question to you is, does this aspect of matrilineal reflect in higher education, better health parameters in Balochistan also? I mean, does it really help that way?
Thank you so much. Thanks for giving that great information that matrilineal culture is still living in India. But today's Balochistan situation is opposite to that. The highest mortality rate in the world, even more than some countries of Africa, is in Balochistan, according to UNICEF. And after British, we all were declared uneducated because whoever has studied in their schools are educated. So our own indigenous education styles and things, because they were not that systematic, so we all are declared uneducated. And Pakistan's army Pakistan Army has occupied most of the schools, colleges, hospitals, clinics in Balochistan, and they have changed it into their army barracks. So education is a dream in Balochistan, and mother's mortality rate and the rate of child mortality is highest in Balochistan, more than Africa.
Thank you. Ravindra Panditaji, please go ahead, sir. Ravindra Panditaji has been struggling for restoring access to Sharda Peeth in occupied Kashmir. So he is from Kashmir, Kashmiri Pandit living in Delhi. Panditaji, please ask your question.
Naela ji, Adab. I heard you very keenly and I am quite impressed. We are one of those persecuted community who had to leave homes because of these conflicts. Again, the oppressor in our case is Pakistan. I have no hesitation in saying so. So I am in minority. We are only 2% out there in Kashmir. And Kashmir, right from Cambodia to Iran, was once upon a time, including your Balochistan, Sharda Desh. And it was one land.
Sharda?
Yeah.
Sharda Desh?
Sharda civilization is the oldest civilization.
Sharda.
Okay. Now it's as good as our, Mecca for Hindus, the Sharda Peeth. Now, my question to you is that I have heard you. I would suggest you, there are people like you. We need preservation of our ancient sites. Hinglani Raj Mata is, that temple is one of our Shakti Peeths. And we would like that your archaeology department take over, as I have struggled and put under archaeology department of government of POK, what's called there as AJK, so-called government. And they have put last year only issued an order that 57 minority shrines have been taken over by archaeology department. So we would definitely seek your good offices and intervention to preserve and protect these ancient places of worship. And I would definitely look forward to visiting Hinglani Raj.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know how people can divide like Hindu Pandit or the other Kashmiris, because when I look at you, you are Kashmiri. You are Kashmiri.
And I can understand your Persian also a lot.
Oh,
If
wow.
you speak in your language, I am maybe able to understand 50% of it.
Wow.
Because we are one genes. I agree to you completely. We are one genes. Pre-Islamic era, we are all one. All Aryans. Now that time we had divided states, Dardistan, Baltistan, Balochistan. These are all big civilizations indeed. But the oppressors have always held their sway. And we are most unfortunate to being majority in India. And yet we are minority in our Kashmir. That's also a typical part of it. We are neither minorities nor we are majority. We are suffering, we are out of our homes for the last 30 years. But we still struggle. We can't forget Kashmirians. We still struggle out there. You know, our Sharda Peeth is in POK and we would like to, you know, preserve that civilization, preserve that font, Lipi. That's called Lipi, the writing style. We definitely like to have that.
Sure.
And in our area, we used to have Persian as a court language till Zainul Abidin Badshah's period. Till the 17th century.
Yeah.
Court orders and the official language was Persian.
Yeah, Professor Ji, yeah, sure. I mean, let's ask Professor Ji to respond to it. Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yeah. So, I think you already kind of alluded to it a little bit. I think the temples in Balochistan, it's a society which is protecting them, right? But
yeah,
then,
we are protecting them. When there was, maybe you will, there is a video on YouTube also. It's a mandir in Liari, Balochistan. Like Liari is a Baloch community in Karachi. So now Karachi is overpopulated by the Muslims of India who came after the partition division of India. So we became minority there. So so there is a temple, and when the Roits were, Ayodhya Mandir and Babri Masjid Roits were there, so the reaction was in other areas. There's a mandir in Job. It was in Pashtun area, and that was in that Hindu young mother with her kids was burned alive in the mandir. So situation was very, very tense. So I just told you about a mandir in my own town, but there is a mandir in Liari, and a lady, a Hindu lady there, she's telling the people that when they were, the situation was tense, so all the Balochs came and they just lived around that. They stayed at night there just to protect the mandir and the Hindu people there. So yeah, we people protect, and state and we call them civil death squads. The Pakistan Army have their civil death squads, and mostly they are trained in madrasas. Yeah, they are half mental people. From their childhood, they are raped and they are lived in very severe punishments they go through. So it's a very systematic manner their humanity is finished, and then when they become young, they are so angry that they just make them a human weapon, and they send them everywhere to just so in Balochistan they are using this civil death squad. They are using it in Kashmir also. They are using it. Yeah, so it's their death squads in their state directly. Their army goes and burns the historical places. So yes, people are the basic change makers. If people protect the places, mandirs and other historical places, it's more powerful than then governments
perfect.
do it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, more than the archaeological survey of Pakistan, we will trust our Baloch brothers to protect our shrines there.
It's
Thank
our
you.
shrines. Sorry, it's our shrines.
Thank you. Thank you. Rakaji, please go ahead.
Yeah, I have a set of questions, Professor Garu, Professor Baloch. The first thing is Bangladesh was different because of the logistics and other issues, and liberating Bangladesh was an easier thing. But what about Balochistan with so little population, so huge area to cover, and the Pakistani military presence in many areas? Will Balochistan be able to replicate the Bangladesh experiment? That's my first question. And second question is, Hafiz Saeed, in his Defy Pakistan speeches, repeatedly says that the Baluchis are now supporting the Hafiz Saeed Dawa movement and all those things, and there's a lot of support for him in Balochistan. He talks about it. Your story runs counter to his story, so I would like to have a clarification about it. The third question that I'm interested in is about the Mahdaviya Pathans. The Mahdaviya Pathans, we have a significant population of Mahdaviya Pathans even in Hyderabad. One of our MLAs, Mr. Amanullah Khan, was a 4-time MLA. He's a Mahdaviya Pathan. The chief place of veneration for the Mahdaviya Pathans is in Gwadar. It is called Kohe Murad, if I am not wrong. So what I have heard that Kohe Murad is now being usurped by the Pakistani forces. They're trying to take over that Koh or hill. So what is the current position of Kohe Murad? Because a lot of Mahdaviya Pathans out in Hyderabad still have connections to those places. These are my 3 questions. First one is about the viability of the fight for liberation, whether it will succeed. The second one is about the growing, Islamization of the Baloch community, and the third is about the Mahdaviya Pathan. Thank you so much.
Very, very, very good questions. Very, very, like you have your vision very clear. So I'll go with the third question first, and then second, and then first, if I'm allowed.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Mahdavi you are talking, the Kohe Murad is a very sacred place for meditation or connection with the universal energy. You call it God or Allah or Bhagwan or jo bhi bolte. So like I have been myself there, and I mean, whenever you will get chance, go there and do meditation. When you will go to Nani Mandir, after that you go to Kohe Murad also. It's the same route you can go up towards, it's in Kech. So Kohe Murad is basically, from ancient times, it's a sacred or holy place. And that at that time, religions were not that institutionalized that are now. But then there was a person, he came from India, and he started, like, he was an Indian Muslim, and he started a kind of Hajj there, like in Makkah, the rituals of tawaf and things. So he started it there. Before that, there was no that kind of Hajj and these rituals there. So instead of going to Mecca, people started performing the rituals of Hajj in like local Baluchi Hajj. So the Mahdavi Pathan, I haven't heard. Maybe they are mistaken by telling themselves Pathan, because Pathan is people from Afghanistan, and it's thousands, like more than 1,000 kilometers and more than that. So they are Baloch basically, and they have connection with India. And half of my family is Zikri. We call them Zikri
Zikris, yes.
because yeah, Zikri. So they do zikr. So
Yeah.
we all do zikr. Zikr means when you
Jnana.
hmm?
Meditation. Zikr is
Yeah,
meditation.
yeah. So yeah, like you repeat some words and connect yourself with the divine. So yeah, so they are there. Kohemorad is they try to send their death squads to like occupy it and stop people doing what they are doing, and try to declare them as non-Muslims as they did with Qadianis.
Adhyani.
Yeah, but Baloch, it's very difficult for them to do it in Balochistan, things like that. All the Baloch, because our nationalist kind of, or our people's um, awareness about our issues is very high than the people in other parts of Pakistan. I'm sorry, but yeah, Sindh is very enlightened, and Balochistan. Other parts are like they just make things out of them. They can play there, but they can't play in Balochistan. So all the people of Balochistan, they stood with their Zikri brothers and sisters, and they said, you have nothing to do. We do intermarriages like Zikri and Namazi. If you divide people like this, that who pray namaz and who just do the zikr.
Zikr.
So so you can't declare them as non-Muslims kind of thing. And all of them, we stood with them. So many times they did it. So like my very close family members are from Zikri people. They are Zikris. And today's Baloch resistance movement has very close link with like
Zikris.
like many Zikris are the leaders of Baloch struggle, especially armed struggle. And the Zikri people, they are taking care of Kohemorad. So rest assured, it's not with them, it's with us. Yeah, so Hafiz Saeed is nothing, just he's a puppet of ISI, as you all know. So what Hafiz Saeed is doing, and with the help of Pakistan Army, they are trying to, like, if you speak for Baloch, they will come, kill you, pick you, and disappear you forever. But they have made the ground open for their death squads and their fanatic, this IS, Daesh, and different branches of Daesh are working openly, and their headquarters and their training centers are in Pakistan Army camps in Balochistan. And yeah, so when Hafiz Saeed comes to Balochistan, army give total protection to his convoys, and they want to show that Balochistan is like them, is like they can hire Baloch people in this. So the fight is it's a big effort of ISI to bring religious extremism by hiring the unemployed youth with these kind of goons. And the Baloch nationalist movement or Baloch liberation movement, it is working to engage the Baloch youth in Baloch liberation struggle. So it's a competition between us. We are with our indigenous powers, and they are with Chinese and American money and arms. So yeah, fight is going on, but it's not possible for them to do it. Yeah, they are trying to, but we are giving them hard time. But it's not that Balochistan is changed into a fanatic hub. Once I was in, once there is an American professor, Christine Fair.
Christine Fair, yes.
Yeah, so she was saying that Baloch people are not much different from the Punjabi people. They are also fanatic and they are also religious extremists and they are this. I say, have you been in Balochistan? Or you are taking, cutting, pasting from ISI articles from Google? Don't do these kind of researches. Go there and meet people and find out it's not true. Yeah, they are trying to. And they are putting millions of dollars in it. And it's an industry, madrasa industry there. And yeah, they're taking benefit of hunger they have imposed on us, and poverty they have imposed on us, unemployment they have imposed on us, lack of education they have imposed on us, and they are taking benefit of that by creating madrasa. In madrasas, they give free food, they give free clothes, they give free residence. So it's a way of survival that people should send. If a few of their kids get they die out of malnutrition, they can survive in a madrasa. So yeah, they're doing this. It's very scary, but still, yeah,
The fight is on. Yes.
fight is on. Fight will, fight shall. And your first question is about Bangladesh.
No,
Yeah,
I said,
Bangladesh.
is a free Balochistan possible logistically? Because the kind of advantages that Bangladesh had, the Baluchi area doesn't seem to have. And second, I just want to add one thing. Can people in exile influence the course of events inside the state? Because I had the same doubt with Mr. Senghe Hassan Sering, who's fighting for the Gilgit and Baltistan rights. See, he being in exile, and there being no 4G or 3G in Gilgit and Baltistan, will it be possible for leaders in exile to influence the course of events inside either Balochistan or Gilgit Baltistan?
So yeah, logistically, if we compare Balochistan with Bangladesh, it's different. It's different, but it is possible. I was discussing with Mr. Girdhariji once that liberation of Bangladesh was never a plan in Delhi. It is an accident. It was the plan was to take a piece of land in
Bengal, East Bengal, yes, East Pakistan.
East Pakistan, to settle those refugees, the influx of refugees coming in India and creating problems for India. But when Indian army started fighting with Pakistan army there, Pakistan army was not able to fight with Indian army.
Yeah.
No? So they surrendered, and they were asking from Indian army that go for the signatures as soon as possible and give us protection, because Bengalis will kill us with their teeth.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are thirsty of our blood. So it was an accident, and it happened. And after visiting India and being there for a year and meeting all kind of people there, it was my research to know, will India stand for us or no? So the answer is no. And the reason is lack of will. Indian establishment, they have not decided to help Balochistan. They have not decided that they want Balochistan as a free country. They had not. Still, Nehru is alive there. I'm sorry. If somebody loves him, I'm sorry. But Nehru is breathing in Delhi. Nehru and Azad are breathing in the establishment of India. And they don't have the courage to make a decision in the benefit of India Indian own benefit. We don't want you to do anything for us. Do it for yourself. Your own country is taken over in the name of a religion. To liberate your own Sindh and Punjab is your duty. You liberate your part, we will liberate our own. But you will not. India will not, because not that it's an excuse that logistically it's possible or not possible. It is possible. If United States can come to Afghanistan, it's not so difficult for India to come to Balochistan if they want to. We have like from Gujarat, entering in Karachi and then in Balochistan through Navy is not a problem. Afghanistan is an open land for you. You are sitting on the borders of Balochistan. You are not helping Balochistan. It's not the problem of logistics. It's the problem of your will. So Indian establishment, they don't have the will to intervene in Balochistan. They know that India needs to be terror-free. आतंक से छूट मिलेगी तब जब पाकिस्तान ना हो. अब प्रॉब्लम इंडिया के लिए ये है कि इंडिया के पास पॉलिटिकल डिसीजन मेकिंग का करेज नहीं है. They don't have courage. They lack courage. Or when they are in the opposition, they give jargons, they give slogans. We will do this and we will do that. Or गंगा को ऐसा कर देंगे और पता नहीं किसको कैसा कर देंगे. But when they are in power, they get the virus, the Nehru virus. It's more dangerous than Corona, COVID-19.
Absolutely.
Right. And we discussed this, madam. I kind of shared things which we can discuss offline. I sent you the mail also, right? On Delhi, why you will not get support. We had a different discussion. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it possible?
No. Yeah, Rakaji, you're asking something?
No, I said about the leaders in exile and their influence on the people.
Yeah. So the leaders in exile, if they want to live in leisure, Balochs will not accept them. Yes, if they want to do something, it's not difficult. If you talk about Baloch or you talk about Baltistan or you talk about any other place. We tried to support some Balti youth. We live very far away from each other. We don't have any connection with each other, and in between us, they're land of big Punjab. But there were few students, they studied in Karachi University, and they were just talking about Gilgit-Baltistan, and then Pakistani government filed some cases against them. So I called them and I gave them protection. Even I brought them to Afghanistan. So it's a big, huge porous border, and people can go and come. We know how to go and how to come. So we just, but after that, he went back, and then he gave statement to ISI, and then his statement was on news, Pakistani television news, with my name, that she has offered me support to fight and all this. So like there are so many things that I mean, it's not wise to talk here, but you all are wise people. We have land, and we have sea, and we have connections, and we have approach. So living in exile doesn't mean that you can't touch your country. You can go, and you can be there, and you can come back. And if you don't go, you can call people, you can meet people, you can train people. I'm talking about peaceful political training, you know.
Well, I think beyond that, it's not worth talking on a public platform. Yeah, sure. Thanks, Rakaji. Shankar Pandeyji. Shankar Pandeyji is from Meghalaya, Shillong, northeast of the country.
Yeah, namaste, Naela ji. And very interesting that Meghalaya has three principal tribes, the Khasi, Jaintia, and Garos. And all the three tribes are 100% matrilineal. Children inherit their mother's name, and the property also is bestowed on the youngest daughter.
Youngest daughter.
And one more, youngest daughter. You can just Google Khasi tribes. Although most of them have already converted, around 10% are still following the indigenous. And the indigenous Khasis and Jaintias, the symbol of the logo, you will be surprised to know, is male hand. Their logo is a male hand. I think I just heard you mention about the logo of male hand, and you can Google it. Saint Khasi, they call it, logo of Saint Khasi. And another thing is that I was just browsing through internet, and there is something called Harappa admixture, which has the gene pool of all the communities across the world. And in India, many communities have Baloch genes, and I was surprised to see that I myself have 35% Baloch and 25% South Indian genes in myself. So I was doing research, I am 32%, Baloch. Yeah. Yes. So
I mean, how they know that it's Baloch gene?
I don't. They must have done some research, and you can Google it, ma'am. It's called Harappa admixture. There, all the gene pool of all the communities in the world is given. In India also, community-wise, they have given. And admixture, 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 Harappa admixture. They have the gene composition of all the communities. Yeah. And my concern,
no wonder she said they are the grandmothers, grandmothers.
Yeah. So personally, my no other gene community is dominant in me, inside me, as Balochistan, Baloch, and then second is 25% South Indian. So I am related that genealogically to Giridharji also. Yeah. So my concern was, how do you think the Baloch national movement will be impacted by growing radical Islamization? Because as long as Islam dominates, then they will the nationalist movement will fade away. I feel that Pakistan, natural country to them will be Pakistan. So how are you viewing this?
Okay, actually the thing that has saved us is the bedtime stories and the songs of moms and grandmoms. Okay. That connects us with, like, from very early childhood, we are connected with our identity.
Okay.
And the worst thing they do is, first of all, they deny your identity. They say everybody is Muslim, and Muslim is Ummah,
Yes.
And this is the only identity you should have. So the first clash in early school days we have with their school system. They say, you are Pakistani, but we know we are Baloch. They say, you are only Muslim. We know that no, we are Baloch. So when we go to school, when we watch their TV or their media, so we know that they are liars. They are lying. Because my mom, my dad, my grandparents, they can't lie. We trust our own parents and our grandparents more than their system. So we don't have our own schooling, we don't have our own media. So we have to rely on them to get the tools, like to get the education, to get the tools to study. Very few of us can get. So the basic protection system is our own stories, that we don't have media, and majority of our people can't read books, and we have books in our own language. We have books, and we have history, and we have grammar, and we have dictionaries, and all in our own language. But it's all done by some very, very dedicated people, not the state. It's done by our own people. So, so we have a parallel system, and state has a powerful system, but we have a parallel system to oppose them. And in native, Native America, like here, Native people, when I see them, meet them, and read their history and know about them, there were residential schools in Canada where the Christian nuns and priests, they like kidnapped by force. They took the kids of the native people, brought them, kept them in the residential schools to change them from the childhood. So they should not know about their language. They should not. So they have left the native languages. They have destroyed most of them because of the residential schools. And many with the harsh behaviors they have done, the violence they have done on them, thousands of them died in the residential schools. So they have the Pakistan has started madrasas in Balochistan. These are the same residential schools, and the boys who go there, when they come back, they are half crazy. They can't assimilate with our society. This is a problem there. And Baloch students organization, like our youth movement, if today I'm able to speak, or I'm able to struggle, a big contribution after my parents and my family history, it goes to Baloch students organization. As a child, I was part of that. And in the other parts, the urban parts of Pakistan, it's very strange for them. They say, okay, so you were a very young girl, even you were in 5th class, you started your Baloch movement. So how you managed to be with those boys? I said, how you managed to be with your brothers in your home? Same. Because, you know, when there was a program or a protest or a conference, or like we do our activities, always we did. So there was a chain. I don't know how it becomes. Like the boys, they made a chain of hands around me. So no naughty one can come and touch me. I never had harassment. Never in my life. That the love I got from my comrades, my brothers, and the respect. And till today, I'm having that. So it's ownership. We own each other. We own our respect. We own our honor. And that is a very great thing. But Baloch Students Organization is also under very brutal attack of Pakistan. Majority of our boys are kidnapped and killed and tortured and missing. So it's a big attack on us, and we are fighting. We are fighting. We are trying to find some kind of digital, or like schools are taken by, occupied by the army. So we don't have schools there, proper schools. Majority of the schools have gone. The private schools, the Baloch, young Baloch boys and girls that after getting their education from other parts, like they could afford it and they got education, they went and they started private schools there. So English and Balochi was the medium of language. There was no Urdu and Arabi there. So they killed the principals. In Gwadar, there was a school, they killed the principal. He was educated from US. He came back and he was teaching the kids. They killed him. They killed so many teachers. So it's a very systematic, organized invasion on our intellect and our whole system to resist them. And now because I can't find better people than you to discuss it and take advice and take suggestions, that we are thinking of creating a system where we can give a kind of tablets to our kids there in Balochistan, and we connect with them, like we educate them through a satellite system without depending upon their internet. It can be very expensive, but like we should think big and we can do things. So I will look forward for suggestions because you are the champions of Silicon Valleys and all this. So yeah, so we will never surrender, and we will win. We know we will win. It's difficult, it's long, and we don't get tired actually. And because we know that we have a physical shelf life as our parents had. So we will contribute, we will do our duty, and after that our physical shelf life will be expired, will change into other forms of nature, but we will leave the legacy, and the other will come and join as we join the movement. So we are very satisfied people. We know we are relaxed people. Yeah, every day we are getting dead bodies. Even now in exile, living in exile, people are not safe. You have heard about Sajid Hussain. 2 days back, his dead body is found in Sweden. A country like Sweden, people can get killed by ISI or a civil death squad of ISI or something, you know. So yeah, it is difficult, but we will win, we know. In this generation or next generation or other generation, but it will go on. It's not something instant.
Yeah, I think Chanakya, Acharya Kautilya Chanakya said that you are not enslaved even if you are defeated and your enemy occupies you. You are enslaved the moment you lose hope and the moment you lose connection to your own culture. You start thinking that your invader's culture is better than you, then you are enslaved. I think Balochistan is a living example of that, which India should replicate. I think we have been colonized and we have lost a lot of our roots. I think your example, your exemplary way of looking at life is something which should inspire all of us. Thanks a lot for that. I'll ask.
If we can,
Yes. Yeah. Sanjay
sorry.
Kapoorji. Yeah, I was. Yeah. Tell me.
There is a question.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there are a few more, 2-3 more people to ask, and then
Arundhati Roy.
Arundhati Roy. It's a different issue altogether.
Professor.
They're saying why Arundhati Roy doesn't know the pains of Balochistan. She's a fraud. She is funded by Christo evangelical external forces to keep on tarnishing India, right? And there is unnecessary disproportionate projection of Arundhati Roy. We should just ignore her. She is absolutely useless. Let's forget her. Sanjay Kapoorji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Professor, you talked about the Nehru virus. You are very right in this particular matter. However, to my mind, the US is about to leave Afghanistan in whatever time frame. So the US interests which were governing the deployment of the armed forces of Pakistan and the complete strategy is going to change and have a paradigm shift. So in that particular case, the governments may have a different kind of a look towards giving tacit support. Now, the way the British have been treacherous and even the Pakistanis have been treacherous in occupying your particular land, and it's a national movement which you have to mobilize on various fronts, that is financial, economic, diplomatic, military, political, logistics. You'll have to take the violence to such an extent wherein it becomes untenable for the Pakistan army to sustain. I am very happy actually to see that there has been some unity which has come in under the BRAS, as you mentioned. Is there any case in point wherein you are looking at some tacit help from Afghanistan and Iran being very close to you?
Thank you. Thank you so much for your comments, kind words, appreciating, encouraging. Yeah, things are changing. One, that if US decides, because I don't know how, on what basis they make the decisions. I don't know how and what is their
Very true.
But this decision to leave Afghanistan, once they did before. They left Afghanistan on its own, and they thought they had achieved their goals, objectives, and they left. And what happened?
9/11.
Yeah. So once I was speaking about this in Kabul, and there were lots of Americans also there, and I said that this time the 9/11 will be a nuclear 9/11 if you will leave Afghanistan like this. And nuclear weapons of mass destruction are already in the hands of IS.
True.
Pakistan ISI is IS.
True.
You can't separate them from each other.
Not possible.
You can't separate Taliban, Mujahideen, Pakistan, IS, ISI. They all are well connected. They have changed their names. Some groups are against each other on some petty things, but the philosophy, the mindset, the greed of getting power in the name of religion is same.
True.
So, and they have the nuclear weapons of mass destruction in their hands. So living like this is, but we can't control, we don't have any control on US decision, whatever they make. But like if whoever has been close to Afghan society, they know very well that they hate Pakistan.
True.
They hate Pakistan, and it won't be easy for Pakistan or Pakistani forces to survive in Afghanistan. The hate is much more against Pakistan than the hatred against Americans. The normal people of Afghanistan, they don't hate Americans. They are normal. They were normal with Russians also, and even they were very happy with Russians. But Americans are not that much friendly as Russians were. So, like for us, like for my family, like we lived in Afghanistan in Russian era also, and then in American era also. So the difference is Americans, they don't get connected with the people. They live in their Chandgadi, it is called. Like
Right.
they are in kind of uniforms and masks and this, and people think that they are coming from space somewhere. But Russians were very friendly, talking with people, sleeping on the tanks on the road, and they were very friendly and carefree kind of people. The people, Afghan people love are Indians. They love Indians. I don't know why, but they love Indians. They want as much as closeness with Indians as possible, because they know, one, that India has not that mentality to occupy others' lands. They know that India is always their friend. India make things, hospitals, parliament, schools, colleges, universities. There are universities, there are hospitals, Indian made. And Pakistan comes and destroy them with suicide attacks. Not only the buildings, but the people, innocent people, school kids, women, children, indiscriminately. So they hate Pakistan, and it's not possible for Pakistan to be in Afghanistan. Only if America wants to, and it's over, they can't be in Afghanistan anymore. The best army that can be, or the best people that can help Afghans to live in peace are Indians, because they will be welcomed by Afghan people. They love Indians. I don't know why they love Indians. And they always want to go to India, and they want to visit. And like, my daughter-in-law is from Kabul. My son got married in Kabul, and I asked, where you want to go for honeymoon? She said, India. I said, okay. Not like I live in Canada, in Vancouver. She said, no, I want to go to India. I said, okay, your dreamland, go there. So I brought her, both of them with me.
Afghanistan is very much part of the Bharat narrative, madam. So that it is there in their genes. It's only these brainwashed Punjabi Sunnis who are, thinking otherwise. But the rest of them still have love and respect for the Bharat connections.
Yeah.
So
So I think we covered your question, or something left.
Yeah. I mean, we'll have to wait for how US pans out. Let's see. They only think from election to election. Beyond this election, what they think, let's wait.
Yeah. His part of question was like, what the support we can get from Iran and Afghanistan, our neighbors. So our first neighbors are India, eastern neighbors, because when we Sindh is our neighbor, so Sindh is India actually. So don't hesitate to penetrate and through land and sea and help us. No problem. We will welcome. And Afghanistan, if it's in like the time when Afghanistan was under Mujahideen control, so it was like ISI control, that was the only period when we had no support from Afghanistan. That was the only period. Otherwise, historically, Afghanistan and Balochistan always support each other. Whenever there's a problem, we go there, they come to us. So if more presence of India is there, more relief for Baloch is from Afghanistan. And So it is connected again second with India. So more presence of Pakistan in Afghanistan, more problems for Baloch. And Iran is very complicated. Iran is giving lollipops to India as Chabahar. Chabahar is a Baloch port. And the policy of Iran there is same as Pakistan in Gwadar. Killing Baloch people, displacing Baloch people, settling their Iranians, Farsi people there, and torturing people, publicly hanging Baloch people, and all this is going there. We expect from India to speak on behalf of Baloch people that yes, if all the world is against you, you have sanctions, and then India is coming and building and investing there. So at least you should not occupy Baloch lands. Land itself is a capital. And if Baloch capital is used, Indian money as capital and machinery as capital is used, so Baloch should have a part in the profit, and they should be the owners of their land. So this is the Baloch narrative there. And second is, Irani government and Pakistani government are very close to each other as far as Baloch issue is related. They both exchange their intelligence every month, and they have their border meetings every month. Their meetings on the border. There are some regular bodies there that represent Pakistani and Irani officials, and they sit there and they make the decisions there. And there are some Baloch militants, they are supported by Iranian government, and there are some Baloch militants, they are supported by Pakistani government. And both are used against those countries. So Iran, we are not getting any, the support we can expect from India and Afghanistan, we are not expecting that kind of support from Iran because their mentality is basically just like Punjabi mentality. They just want to occupy our lands. They have used our land for their nuclearization. They have used our lands to hide the nuclear weapons there, as Pakistan has done. And both are settling their people on our lands to change our demography. And they're using coercion, torture, killing, same.
That area in Iran is called Sistan Balochistan, friends. I think, some of you may not be aware of it. There is a part of the Iranian territory which is bordering Pakistan, which is what Professor Naela is referring to. That is called Sistan Balochistan. So that is where this issue is all she has referred to right now. Yeah. Next is DSR Murthy from Guntur.
Just to add that, again, India can play a role in between Baloch and Iran, not by making Baloch as proxy of Iran, but by standing with Baloch for basic Baloch rights. And then we can concentrate all the efforts against Pakistan to liberate the Pakistani occupied Pakistan. It can be a formula, why not? But Iran should understand it. And India is the only power that we can trust. And they can play a role as they can play a role in Afghanistan. So if India plays a role around our neighbor countries, then we can have support. Otherwise, we don't expect any support from any of them, including the Arabian Gulf, the Arabian countries, because there is huge influence of ISI there and huge influence of Pakistan there. And they are even arresting Baloch youth and giving them in the hands of Pakistan.
sad. Yeah. Murthy, please go ahead, sir.
Namaste, Qadri and the
Namaste.
director. My point is, what is the attitude of the Gulf countries, such as Oman, to the current troubles in Balochistan?
Gulf countries are just they have closed their eyes, as they always talk about Muslims and Muslim unity and Muslim Ummah and all these things, but they never include Baloch and Muslim Ummah. We are happy. So they always support Pakistan, state of Pakistan, and they have very close military connections with each other. And now many of the retired Pakistani army generals are serving in Arab countries, and they're heading their armies and they're training their armies and building their army premises, and Pakistani experts and engineers are working there. So they are supporting Pakistan actually. And Saudi is now becoming another stakeholder in Gwadar mega project and CPAC. And there are news that they are more interested in taking big lands for agriculture, and they are interested in oil refineries. They are interested in gold snatching. They call it gold mining. And they are more interested, most of all, they are interested in taking nuclear technology from Pakistan and maybe testing in Balochistan somewhere again and for this. So like Saudi is now coming forward by its physical presence in Balochistan. They have lots of social presence, or there were lots of support system they have created in Western Balochistan, that is in Iran. So there they have spreaded madrasas and like people. So Baloch people actually, they were against the Iranian regime because Iranian regime has occupied Balochistan with the help of British. And then when Saudis came to support Baloch on the condition of becoming a kind of Sunni, they are. So that support they took against Irani government. So now there is a huge support of, huge presence of Saudi there in Western Balochistan. And they want to do it in central Balochistan also, like the Balochistan occupied by Pakistan. And this civil death squads and madrasas I was talking in it. So it is all, the Arab support is there to do this. And they are training and they are taking people, Baloch youth, to Arab countries also. And there are huge madrasas where Arabs and Chechens and others, the Taliban and Mujahideen and IS are living in the complexes in Balochistan, inside Balochistan. So we don't have any support from any Arabs, and even actually opposite, they are the supporters of the occupiers. And like the division of Baloch movement, like our movement is always secular. We don't have any stamp of any religion on us, but they have divided our movement by radically religizing our Western part.
Okay, sure. Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
Anil Sadanand ji, please go ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
A very good morning, madam.
Morning.
Yeah, you have been a very huge source of inspiration for all of us. In fact, in terms of what we call it, hope. That is, we do have a lot of, than the external insurgents, we have the internal insurgents is heavy here also in our country, which you know that. And substantially, we've been taking on that because of our culture. and you're the history, civics, and geography of your country. And I want to call you as Kittur Rani Channamma of our place. If you can go to the Google, you'll know that the strength of that
What?
lady.
Kittur?
Kittur Rani Channamma.
Kittur, there is a place called Kittur. There is a Rani queen there. Her name is Chennamma.
Channamma.
He's calling you a queen. You know, she's a very respected queen of Karnataka.
Wow.
He's referring you to queen. You know.
Thank
So
you.
against the Mughal oppression, she stood alone. And when
Wow.
she helps her husband, in fact, and when he's thirsty, and she takes on the Hyder Ali, the Tipu Sultan father, when he comes to take over the fort of Kittur. So she fights all alone with the Hyder Ali army. So if you can Google, I think after some time, I think you are no less than her, in fact. Thank you so much for being here. And there's absolutely no question or suggestion, but I would like to take some inputs from you as far our beloved Kashmir is there. So we have substantially made progress from this government by invoking Article 370 and 35A. Further on, as the people of this country, what should be our role in substantiating our stand there? It's not that we don't want to push the Muslims there out, what not so ever like that. We want them to come in line of our culture and live with us harmoniously. For that, what is your advice? I think that is the question, madam. If you can help us out, that will be great.
Thank you.
Because our Giridharji is day in and day out is working with Kashmir, So it will be a lot of inputs if you can give us. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me that great name. I don't feel myself even, a small part of that great Rani you are talking about, not because she was Rani, but the way she fought for her honor and her people and her land against the occupiers. So great. Actually, I'm working very closely with some Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmiri, the other Kashmiri leaders who are actually, they think about the unification of Kashmir, Jammu, Ladakh, Kashmir, Gilgit-Baltistan, the greater Kashmir. And they talk about the independence of Kashmir. So they were very friendly with India, but after that article, I saw them, they were very, very reactive and reactionary, and they were saying that, look, you people say that India should help intervene Balochistan. They will come and they will occupy Balochistan too one day, like they are occupying Kashmir. And they said, I said, look, Balochistan is a different case. Kashmir was never a free country or a country. Kashmir was always part of that, part of India. They said, no, we had Maharaja Gulab Singh, we have Maharaja. I said, so Maharaja Gulab Singh, matlab India, na? And after British, how British changed the face of India, same they changed the face of Balochistan by creating states like today's the Sikh identity, making it a different religion. They worked at psychological levels. They were occupiers with a very, very mean and very cunning and sharp plannings. So one, and second is their basic, they say that we are, our civilization and our Kashmiri identity is bigger than religious identity. They say this. They're very progressive and liberal people, left people, and they are very proud of Vedas, and they say that the whole civilization of subcontinent, Indian subcontinent, the great Vedas and all this, we are all linked with that, and we all are out of that process. They understand all these things. But the main fear is that Kashmir's identity is Kashmir identity. No can take it, but they say that they have very close connection with the Kashmiri Pandits also. They say that we are not different from each other. We are same people. But there's the fear that they have or created by ISI is that it will be an open place, and its status that the lands of Kashmir is for Kashmiris. Kashmiri Pandits should come back. They say that Kashmiri Pandits should come back. All the Kashmiris who have left Kashmir due to these conflicts should come back, and they are, every son and daughter of Kashmir are Kashmiri. They should come back, and we should live together with harmony. But the Kashmir should be for Kashmiris only. Like if other people come and settle there, so our Kashmiri identity, our Kashmiri culture will be taken over. So, or like we will be demographically finished. And this is the fear only, that people will come from other places and settle, and people will take over our, like, this is the only concern they have. Otherwise, if Indian people of India, give them this surety that Kashmiri identity is, and Kashmiri land is for Kashmiri people, and we all are supporting you, we all are protecting you from the goons and the barbarians of Pakistan, the way they deal with Kashmiris, they understand very well that in front of China and Pakistan, India is their natural motherland and their natural brothers and sisters, and the peace and the security they can have, and the honor and respect they can have being with India, they can't have in China. They can see Uyghurs, and they can't have in Pakistan. They can see Balochs, and even the Kashmiris in Pakistani occupied Kashmir are living a hell of the life. They are taking their rivers, they are taking their natural resources, they are cutting their jungles, their trees. So, so this is the people to people contact, giving them security, giving them assurance and reassurance can change their fears, and they have their following shape in Kashmir also, occupied Kashmir, POK also, they have their presence, people are with them. So if the leadership like Sardar Shaukat Kashmiri and his team, they were very close to India before, but now they are a little reactionary. So, and they can make a change, like their leaderships, their parties, if you make a close connections with them. So there can be like the pluralistic approach of India. They know it very well because they are from the same roots. I think the people to people connection and giving them surety and security that your identity will never be compromised, and your lands will be always safe for you people and your coming generations. I don't think they will have any problem.
Yeah, I think basically their experience with Pakistan having taken over their lands, they think India is also going to behave the very same way, which is not actually true. But having said that, what is so special about Kashmir? Why we in Telangana, we Telugu people, how are we not special? How Kannadigas are not special? How Tamilians are not special? Right? So Kashmir is one part of the country. Everyone is special. Whereas we invite people to come and invest, for instance, in Hyderabad, in South India, Balochis are investing, Iranians are investing, Kashmiris are investing, everybody is investing. Did that take away our Telugu culture? No, it did not. So this is just a fear which has been installed in them because their lands are usurped and they have been abused by Pakistani establishment. They are thinking India will do that. It doesn't happen that way. Bengali in West Bengal, very much they speak Bengali, but there are Marwadis, there are Marathas, there are Punjabis who have gone and invested there. They learned the local language. How does it matter? That is a thing which, brainwashed for so many generations it takes for them to overcome that. I'm not unmuting Ravindra Pandita ji. He is full of emotion. I know he'll take off from here. So I'm not unmuting him. Sorry, Pandita ji. I know he wants to answer that, but thank you. Ravi Krishna ji, please go ahead. Yeah.
नमस्ते मैडम।
नमस्ते, नमस्कार।
मैं आपको मेरा बचपन में मेरा एक हिंदी टीचर रहती थी, आपको बिल्कुल आपके फेस उन्हीं के जैसे हैं। अनिल सदानंद साहब ने जो बोला है ना उससे थोड़ा बेहतर बोलूंगा मैं, वो कुछ गलत नहीं गया। आप बलूची लक्ष्मीबाई बोल सकते हैं आपको।
ठीक है, ठीक है।
बलूची लक्ष्मीबाई।
बलोच।
मेरा एक सवाल है आप सबसे, आप रिलीजियस एजुकेशन आप कैसे दे रहे हैं? आप उधर रिलीजियस कल्चर को प्रोटेक्शन करने के लिए कैसा मेजर्स ले रहे हैं?
हमारा कल्चर एक्चुअली अच्छा, एक तो ये कि बलोची हमारा लैंग्वेज है, हम लोग बलोच है और हमारा लैंग्वेज बलूची है और हमारा ड्रेस बलूची है। सो बलोच लक्ष्मीबाई। इट्स ओके। तो जी, रिलीजियस एजुकेशन हम लोग एक्चुअली तो इतना रिलीजियस पे वो नहीं करते। हमारा बेसिक जो लाइफस्टाइल है उसमें जो थोड़े बहुत रिचुअल्स होते हैं, मगर ऐसा कोई खास नहीं है कि हम रिलीजियस उसको, हम लोग इतना है नहीं। मतलब ऐसा है कि कुछ लोग होते हैं जो रिलीजन के लिए बहुत इनसिक्योर फील करते हैं कि हमारा रिलीजन रह जाना चाहिए और सबको सीख लेना चाहिए। हम लोग ऐसा नहीं है। वी आर more like Sufi kind of people. Like we believe in oneness of life. We believe in connecting with the creator. Yes, we believe in creator. There is creation, creative force that has created us. But जो ये जो institutions हैं religion के, उसको रखने के लिए हम लोग कुछ नहीं करते। वो रह जाए भी ठीक है, ना रहे तो भी ठीक है।
Great, thank you. Bhaskar ji, please go ahead.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, madam. And only one question to you, madam. And once Aurobindo told that India will become 2, then it will be 3, then again it will be 1. Means he referred Akhanda Bharat. One imaginary question: if Balochistan will be a part of Akhanda Bharat after few decades, how would be? How do you see that? Do you accept Akhanda Bharat in which Balochistan is also part, a federation of all countries, Akhanda Bharat? How do you see that? My speculation. Once Aurobindo said.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Basically, we understand that as a civilization, what name you give it, we are from the same civilization. But if you, like, we all have our identities. That great umbrella, we have the same, or the great land, or the ancient or same civilization, yes. But we are sons and daughters of that same civilization, whatever you give it the name. So, but each and every of, like, we are like, how many people are we are sitting in the one conference, but we all are individuals. We have some commonalities and some differences. So we are respecting each other and listening to each other and trying to understand each other. So the identity of Baloch is very dear to us. Understanding that we are from the same land and same civilization, but we are Baloch. And this land is our home, and its resources are for us and our coming generations first, and then we can share it with the whole world, and the whole world's resources can be shared with us because it's one dharti, Ma. So if our Baloch identity, our Baloch culture, our Baloch lands are for us, and we are part of a federation, bigger federation, where like few things are common, like defense, like communication, like currency, foreign affairs. But inside, we all are independent. I don't think there can be a problem. Yeah.
I think perfect. I think what you said is really perfect, because India never was one legal entity ever. We had many Ganarajyas and Upaganarajyas. We had so many kingdoms, yet we were called Bharat. So each one had their own distinct, way of going about. So what you said is perfect. I mean, each one should have it should not be ruled from Delhi. Somebody sitting in Delhi use a diktat. It doesn't happen that way. And if India is that way, we all obviously recommend that you don't be part of that federation. Definitely not. Everyone should have their respect in their own thing. What you rightly said, maybe 5 or 6 aspects commonality we have, and then we'll see how it goes down the centuries. Perfect. I think that's how you look at it. Perfect. I agree with you, madam. Rajshekhar ji, please go ahead. I think we just got 2 more and we'll close it. Rajshekhar ji, please go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, my first question is the relevance and importance behind you. It's some photographs or sceneries, historical relevance and importance. And second question is, somewhere I read that some dialects of the Balochistan, the South Indian languages like Tamil or Malayalam, there's some words are common, whether it is true or wrong. And third one is, the episode of the Kulbhushan Jadhav. So whether it is the handiwork of the Iran or Pakistan or Balochistan spies. That's what these 3 questions I want to know. Thank you.
So one is Yadav, and second is?
Second is dialects, madam. In
Balochistan,
there's some words
Connection
are
with
similar
South India.
to South Indian
I think
words.
she already spoke about it. Yeah.
Okay.
There is commonality. That's what she spoke about. Yeah.
And the first one is?
Behind you, there are some diagrams of importance and historical importance, and as well as.
So again, I'll start with the third question first. I don't know why it's going like, but it's yeah. So it's Kulbhushan Jadhav. He was in Iran, and there are many Indians in Iran, and they are doing businesses there, and and he was arrested there or captured there by these kind of the civil death squads I was telling, that they are roaming around here and there around the borders. So he was captured there, and he was brought from Iran to Pakistan, and then he said that that he is as Pakistan is saying, I don't know and what, but like the Pakistani narrative that he was supporting Baloch is not correct, because if that much India was supporting Baloch, we had the situation we are facing. We are very helpless, and we can't say it, but maybe some information collection kind of thing if he was doing, maybe. But I don't know. We don't know him actually. So when he was arrested and Pakistan said that that he was supporting Baloch, then I took a very strong stand that don't try to like deface our indigenous and our national struggle, that it is a proxy. It's not a proxy, one. And second, India is not supporting us, not even morally supporting us. So like this, my stand was that. So Kulbhushan Yadav was never in Balochistan. And it's all fake story of Pakistan that they make the stories, and the poor guy is in their hands, whatever they want to do. And yeah, so Balochistan has no connection with him, and he has never supported us. And the second question was the dialect. Yeah, we have words, common words. Telugu. We have common words with Telugu and Tamil and Malayalam. These three I know. So, yeah. And the first question is...
the photos behind you.
Yeah, the photos behind me, you can see it's the Baloch Sea, and the Batel, Mount of Batel, you can see it just like fish tail. You can see, and then the end of the tail is just like a ship. So this is the Baloch Sea in Indian Ocean. And then you can see Princess of Hope. There is a Sphinx also near to this. And this all area is near to Nanima also, Hingol. It's a natural park also there. A very beautiful wildlife is there. And so this is kind of, it's a lady that's waiting for
yeah, that area actually
liberation.
Yeah, there is that she has not actually put it up, but in that area you have naturally formed sphinx in the form of a sphinx. The mountain actually, it looks like a sphinx, and there is a lady of what do you call hope, lady of hope, right? What do you call that?
Yeah, Princess of Hope. She's, yeah. So she's standing, and Sphinx is just near to her.
Yeah.
So these are the, yeah. And then you can see Mehrgarh. You can see a sun in the center. This is like a pattern that is discovered from Mehrgarh. And Mehrgarh is like Neolithic, and you can say, like you can say it's like 12 to
about 11,000 BC roughly.
9,000 BC. So it is 11,000 years.
Yeah,
for now.
Yeah,
but,
11,000 years.
Yeah, but it is found that it's layer after layer from the same place. It's emerged.
Yeah.
So like 25,000 years, layer by layer, it is found. But like it is, like you can say, Epipaleolithic and Neolithic civilization. So this is the excavations there, and it was done by French archaeologists. First, they thought that it's some remains of Indus Valley civilization, but when they did the carbon dating back in France, so they got that it's very, very like ancient, and yeah. So and it's not remains of any caravan or something. Then they did the excavations there, and they've been there, husband and wife, for 30 years. So every winter they were there, and yeah, they did great job.
We have one site in India called Bhirana, which dates very similar to Mehragarh. Yeah. I think we will take a last question and close it, madam.
Bharana, just please let me know the name.
Yeah, Bharana.
Bharana. B-H-I?
R-R-A-N-A.
Bharana.
Yeah, Bharana. Bharana is between Haryana and Punjab, on the banks of an extinct river Saraswati. There also they found something like 7,500 to 8,000 BC.
Wow.
So I visited that site actually, and I've collected a few samples of potteries, and I have a collection of it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Subramanian Garu, please go ahead. VSP Subramanian. Yeah.
Namaskaram, madam. It's an excellent presentation, and first of all, I should thank Girdharji for giving us the opportunity to listen to a stateswoman of Balochistan, and we are really encouraged by this. And I have only one small doubt, and Girdharji will play a vital role. Today, the youngsters are suffering from roti kapda makan problems only. And how are we to lead them to issues of national importance? I think Girdharji, in the last 40 days, with excellent programs from experts, we are, I'm sure this problem would be solved. Probably you may add your views also, madam.
Yeah, I mean, Balochistan is one of the poorest places in terms of personal, wealth. She said we are contented people. They don't have major bungalows. They don't have tons of gold. They are not living in luxury. Yet they are very connected to their roots and their culture and civilization.
We have tons of gold. We have tons of gold.
But somebody else is taking it away. Somebody else is taking away, not you.
Yeah.
So the point is, it's not about the wealth per se, but it's all about the cultural rootings. British came and cut those roots for us. Unfortunately, for British, they didn't spend too much time in Balochistan. So whatever damage they did is still minimal compared to the damage they did in the rest of the country, rest of India. So we have longer pain to overcome, and our unlearning is very difficult. First, we have to unlearn what junk has been put in our brains before we start learning it. So for us, it's a bigger challenge. Yet, Baluchis and Iranians are the only two ancient civilizations who still pride on their civilization, irrespective of what religion they have, what kind of governments they come and go. They are the two real living models for us. Roti kapda makan is passe. Now, those are not the ones. In fact, the very rich Punjab was in militancy, whereas a poor Madhya Pradesh didn't have any militancy. That is not at all the reason. It is ideological orientation, ideological brainwashing which creates all that. We have to provide positive ideology, and with the help of all of you, with people like Professor Naela ji, Ravindra Pandita ji, so many people are there. We are trying to infuse the kind of greatness of Bharat that people will slowly make the shift from roti kapda makan to something more important.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for all. We are deeply indebted to you for this comes from bottom of my heart. It's not a lip service. And I certainly congratulate you on your endeavors, and best wishes for you on this endeavors.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think Pandita ji wanted to talk, but I think we are running out of time, sir. Just less than 10 seconds, if you can close it. Already we have taken 3 hours, 20 minutes of professor's time. So we need to give her some relief. Pandita ji, please make it quick.
Anyways, we are common professor, and we people, we want to, retain our heritage culture, as she is by heart a Balochi, I am by heart a Kashmiri. And I consider Kashmir as my motherland. Now, I want to just simply ask one question. Has she raised a point anywhere of our ethnic cleansing, under which 5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits were thrown in the Islamic Jihad out of their homeland? Has she raised this question in any of the platforms, like she keeps on going to UN and other platforms? Thank you.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I don't think she's a Kashmiri activist. She's a Baluchi activist.
But I did.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Oh, I
But I
wanted
did.
to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Please,
I did.
Thank you.
Because one thing that I did raise the issue of Kashmiri Pandits and Kashmir's militarization and Islamization by Pakistan, and the issue of Uyghurs, the killing and persecution of Uyghurs by the state of China, and that starts. I said that the CPAC starts and ends if it starts from Gwadar or it starts from Uyghurs, Xinjiang, it takes people's culture, it takes people's lives, it takes people's lands, and it is a death sentence to the Uyghurs, the Kashmiris, the Sindhis, the Balochs, all of us. So, and we have some Kashmiri Pandits very close working with us in UN. So they always organize events in UN, and they invite me to speak there. And when we Balochs, we organize events, we invite them to come and speak. So we are working in very close relationship, and we are raising voices.
Thank you so much, madam. I think this was one fantastic talk that we had. I think people in India, especially people who are connected through this call, they all have a better understanding of Balochistan, and the respect for your freedom struggle and your sacrifices must have definitely gone many notches up by now. We all hope and pray that there will be a day very soon that all of us can jointly go and fall at the feet of Mata Hinglaj and pray there. And, as without any fear from anybody looking across our shoulders. And, we all contribute back to the glory of our ancient civilization. Thank you for sparing such a long time for us. I know you're so tired after you just inaugurated a party, but we are honored that you really gave us this amount of time for us. Thank you.
I'm really, really happy. I'm glad because the people in this conference, I can understand you people are the cream of Indian society, and talking to you and connecting to you is a pleasure. I really enjoyed. I didn't know how this time has gone, and I'll be very happy to learn from you. So whenever you have your conferences, please keep me in the loop so I can learn from you about the civilization, about your struggles and all this. Okay.
Thank you so much. That's your humility. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure talking to you, and we'll hopefully have you again sometime in the future. We can have something else to talk about, which is common amongst us. Thank you. Thank you all again for being patient listeners, for spending 3.5 hours of your valuable time in this cause. We will all pray to Mata Hinglaj that the struggle of Professor Naela Baloch succeeds, and then there will be a free state very soon. Namaste. Bharat Mata Ki Jai.